Hello everybody, this is pt.11 and welcome back to some more Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Path Turnabout, or the Imprisoned Turnabout. In the previous episode, we had finally gathered all the information that we needed to pin Dogan, or more specifically Dogan's dog, as a suspect in Knightley's murder. Fortunately, we ran into Judge Courtney and DeBest, and so we have to go against them before we can interrogate Dogan. If you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, share with your friends so they can enjoy this for themselves. It is time for us to show how the dog got from point A to point B. Take that! This photo, it shows a secret tunnel hidden in the prison. That's impossible. A secret tunnel? Sorry, planning stuff for later. This shouldn't be anything new in this series anyway. Alright. This tunnel was dug by the escaped prisoner J. Elbert. It begins in his prison cell, and it connects to a holding cell in the detention center, namely the victim's cell. I'm shocked. How did this... Dogan, you must have known this, since you used this tunnel to commit murder. Oh no! This couldn't have ended easily. In the name of the goddess of the law, I hereby reject Prosecutor Edgeworth's claim. Hold it! What do you mean? Overruled. Evidence is everything. That remains true here, just as in courtroom. Isn't that right? I have evidence here. Horace Knightley's autopsy report. Autopsy report? Since when? Why are you surprised? This was delivered straight from the police a short while ago. It's not complete yet, more of a preliminary report. Here, the very word of the goddess of law is written. Cause of death, stab wound to the neck, died instantly. Murder weapon, sharp metal object. The victim was stabbed multiple times in the same spot with a sharp object. Although they were unable to determine the actual shape of the murder weapon, they have clear proof that it was a sharp metal object. So, do you still stand by your claim that a dog used a sharp object to kill a victim? This can't be! That is all. The court is adjourned. Objection! But wait! The tunnel contains the dog's footprints. Perhaps it may have been one of Anubis's walking corpses. I can never tell what Anubis gets up to outside my cell. Something feels unnatural about all of this, but I have no evidence. Courtney Pye, you sure pulled out a hidden gem at the very last moment. She waited for the perfect time to reveal the autopsy report. But let her outwit me again! Appointed Attorney Shields. Here's the autopsy report from earlier. I apologize for the delay. No, it's alright. Thank you. Gladly accept it. Mr. Shields, I don't believe it's necessary to hold hands while exchanging documents. I advise you to stop. Huh? Persist any longer, and I shall call on the strength of the goddess of law. I'll be careful. Justine, well done. Just as I planned. I only acted in accordance to your instructions. The autopsy report came from the police. I can't refute it. However, if the murder weapon wasn't the dog, Durkin will be cleared of all suspicion. The merciful goddess of law so decrees. If you choose to yield now, your badge will not be taken. What will you do, sir? She says that, but... My answer remains the same. Judge Courtney, it is as I said before. I will see my job through. I will not yield to threats. So even now, you still refuse to give up. If you want to keep your badge, this may be your last chance. Right now, I'm a defense attorney's assistant. What I protect is not my badge, but my client. The goddess of law grows weary of your sentiment. Now we're talking. Miles is starting to understand that a defense attorney never gives up. Actually, those were the words of your old man. My father. It really is in your blood. You're the spitting image of him right now. You said it yourself. You've changed since you were tainted by Von Karma. It's only now that I've actually come to believe it. Mr. Shields. Well then, Miles. Now's the time to put those skills to the test. Think beyond your limits. If the murder weapon was a sharp object, does that really negate your reasoning? The murder weapon was a sharp object. That's it! There were 5 chisels placed inside the special cell. Durkin is a former assassin. It's quite possible he could kill someone with just a chisel. In that case, the weapon that of course killed Knightley was... Is that all? Well then, you're supposed to be giving up. Evidence is everything. Didn't you say? The murder weapon was a sharp metal object. However, such a weapon has yet to be found. What? So what are you trying to say? The only decisive evidence is the actual murder weapon itself. And that was in plain sight this whole time. The real murder weapon is... Durkin's chisel! What did you say? Take responsibility for your own statements. The scene of the crime was Mr. Knightley's cell. You said so yourself. If the evidence changes, then so will my logic. That too is courtroom procedure, is it not? If the chisel was used, that means the killer was human. However, the fact remains that we cannot deny this security photo. Yeah, what about that photo? I give you the answer. This photo shows the moment the security... Which security photo is he talking about? Is he talking about the... Of course it's not in evidence. Someone attacked the dog. Nope. Person attacked the dog. It's obvious the person is one being attacked. Oops. As I thought, I was wrong. This photo doesn't show the moment of the murder. There can only be one answer. So really, what's with that photo? I wish I had the photo to rely on. Shows the moment. The dog leapt at the victim? Durkin's dog leapt at Knightley. However, the victim did not die at that time. Didn't die. He was only knocked unconscious. The dog didn't move the dead body, it moved the unconscious Knightley. And the real killer was its owner. I see. The victim was moved. It would have been possible for Durkin to commit the murder. And use the murder weapon. Indeed, the killer is Syrian Durkin. Can only be you. I bet your teacher used to write on your report card. Needs to pay more attention on what others say. I would think that describes you more. We examined that room. Every crook and granny. Ugh, right, Justine? We examined all four of Mr. Durgan's chisels, and found no traces of blood. Hold it! Thank you, Judge Courtney. Thanks to you, I am now certain. Thanks to me? Whatever do you mean? When I came here earlier, I saw 5 chisels. That's right, there were definitely 5 there before. So the one that disappeared was the smallest one, presumably for portable use. Durgan, where is that chisel? I'm not free to leave this place. I have no need for a portable chisel. Not free to leave? In that case, he must have been free to hide the deadly chisel either. Durgan, you just dug your own grave. It seems you know something. Would you care to show it? Durgan couldn't leave, so the place he hid the chisel is the special cell right in that room. Take that! Durgan is a prisoner, so he can't leave his cell freely. Perhaps he could have sent his dog out to dispose of it, but he would not have been able to confirm the weapon's location. So what does that leave? Above all else, special metal tools are allowed in this cell. Even if the one chisel were to appear here, no one would suspect a thing. You'd be a fool not to take advantage of that. I see. Of course, it's always the safest if you do something yourself. But I examined everything. I didn't find any hiding places in his cell. Objection! I am certain that the murder weapon is here. The reason you haven't found it is because it was cleverly hidden. You say I hid it? Where exactly? Think. Where could he have hidden it? I have to remember everything up to this point. There must be some clue. Does that mean what I think it means? Let's get going, Mr. Edgeworth. Come to think of it, the dog hasn't barked at me once today. Previously, when I came to the special cell, it barked on Durgan's command. That's it! That's what's been out of place. There's just one place he could have hidden the murder weapon. Given up already. How dull, how dull. I will present evidence. This piece of evidence shows where you concealed the murder weapon. Take that! Hasn't your dog been awfully quiet today? Now that you mention it, it hasn't barked at all. Before it was... Sarah Durgan, open that dog's mouth now! Anubis doesn't bark needlessly. I order him to do that before. In that case, order it to bark now. Naturally, you should be able to, if you have nothing to hide. It was inevitable. Anubis showed them your mouth. As you can see, a dog of this size can easily conceal a small chisel in its... What? Why a chisel? The dog really had one in his mouth. I thought he was unusually quiet. Was he unable to follow the discussion? Sebastian, could you call the forensics department? Urgently, please. I got it. guess that proves my theory wasn't just nonsense. Would this chisel be the murder weapon, then? It reacted positively for blood. There's no doubt about that. Oh, but it's being added to evidence, which means we're not done yet. Mr. Saren Dogan, now that the murder weapon has been found, I must ask for your testimony. We know how your dog got to the detention center, and we found the murder weapon. Do you still think you can talk your way out of this? Interesting. This guy, even at a time like this, he's still smiling. Well, Anubis, it seems everyone has become suspicious of you. It's quite troubling, but since it has come to this, we have no choice but to tell the truth. I did not kill anyone. I've long since grown weary of killing. What's this? His face looks completely composed. It seems we'll need to listen to Mr. Dogan's explanation. Please promptly give us your testimony. Certainly. First of all, I would like you to explain my motive. I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection. So I wouldn't think some motive for murder would just appear out of nowhere. Or are you insinuating my Anubis had a motive? He only bears his fangs at others on my command. Oh, so you share no connection, huh? Please. That was a weak lie, Dogan. I do not hunger for blood so much as to kill a man I do not even know. Coming from an assassin, it sure is persuasive. An assassin who only kills acquaintances. I doubt that would be profitable. I may kill strangers in my line of work, but I never make it personal. So evidence that shows a connection between Knightley and Dogan. I should thoroughly review the evidence once more. First of all, I would like you to explain my motive. I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection. Weak lie. Objection! You've lost your touch, Saren Dogan. If you had your dog clean up after you, you should have disposed of this too. It's a record of a correspondence chess game found in the victim's cell. This record and the chessboard in your cell both clearly depict the same game. What? I've heard that the number of possible chess positions is around 10 to the 120th power. 10 times 10, 120 times 100, 1,000. Is that even a real number? Indeed. There's absolutely no way these two could have coincided by chance. Tell us your reason for killing Knightley, unless you intend to explain it as a coincidence. Well, don't they say that the truth is stranger than fiction? It is as you said, this is merely a coincidence. But there's no way that could have happened. My correspondence chess opponent was the victim in this incident. What a horrible coincidence. Aren't you shocked too, Anubis? Anubis, my boy. The animal show or something. That was when everyone left. Anubis brought the body to my cell. He had already been stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon. I did not wish to be suspected, so I had Anubis carry the body to the workroom. After that, he pulled out the murder weapon and returned to me. So you're saying that the one who pulled out the murder weapon was Anubis? That's right. If I'd pulled out the murder weapon here, the blood would have been a problem. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't that what Suik guy said? That's exactly what he said. What did you say? I see. So that means Suwit witnessed the moment of the murder weapon was pulled out. Oh yes, that prisoner's testimony. It surprised me when I first heard it. It's not often that Anubis makes a blunder like that. Right, boy? Now, I believe that explains my actions. I did not kill him. All I did was remove the murder weapon. Now, will that be all? Anubis is getting tired.
Objection.
Objection. Whoa there, just a moment, Mr. Dogan. Mr. Shields. Isn't there one thing you haven't explained? Why would you need to pull out the murder weapon in the first place? That's right. I understand why he moved the body to draw suspicion away from him. But he didn't need to retrieve the murder weapon. I thought him just a fool. How quickly his sentence changed. Can't elaborate, Mr. Dogan? It was because of this bell. The bell attached to the murder weapon, and the bell on my dog's neck. They share a distinctive shape, wouldn't you say? The assassin's Siren dog's trademark. An assassin's trademark? The blind assassin, Siren Dogan, he always appears at the sound of a bell. The sound of a bell ringing in the dark of night is said to be the last thing his target hears. You remember well. It has been a while since you last saw my bells, after all. When I prosecuted you in court, I confiscated a knife with the bell attached to it. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom made, attached to my knife in Anubis' collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and not in my possession. When Anubis brought the body here, I heard a familiar sound. I thought my knife must have been embedded in the body. So imagine my confusion when I found out that it was merely a chisel with my bell attached. Indeed, your knife was nothing like this chisel. Either way, those bells are my trademark. Moreover, I'm the only one in prison who uses the chisels. With all this, I knew I would be falsely suspected. So I removed the murder weapon and hid it. So you're claiming that you only moved the body? Didn't I tell you? That chisel isn't mine. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and check for my fingerprints. Sebastian! Eh? Me? How do I check for forensics? Yes, ma'am. Reaction. We have... sorry. I know, like, I zoned out for a minute. I was trying to remember what the voice was. We have fingerprints. They're Knightley's, Justine. What about Dogan's? Nope. Just Knightley's. And there's no evidence of prints being wiped either. Only Knightley's fingerprints? It can't be! Should we re-examine it? See now, I never even touched that chisel, because I ordered Anubis to carry it in his mouth. In other words, the fingerprints belong to the chisel's original owner. The murder weapon's owner was the victim's? It's perplexing. At any rate, I did not touch the murder weapon. In other words, the killer could not have been me. Isn't that right? have nothing to refute to that. How could this... Is he really not the killer? Could Dagon's testimony actually be true? This can't be! It seems this is sufficient evidence not to warrant any further explanation. As it stands, you have not changed the state of this case. I believe this is more than enough reason for us to relieve you of your badge. Save any needless fuss. I suggest you hand it over your badge now. This is bad, sir! This sounds serious! It's regrettable, but with those prints as decisive evidence, I'll have to rethink my logic from step one. But there's still not many unexplained things. Why would Mr. Knightley be carrying a chisel? It could be used for many things. Perhaps even prison escapes. Well then. Hold on. Well then, how'd he carry it into prison? I mean, the prisoners aren't even allowed cutlery. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth! Hmm? Even if your reasoning is off at first, you shouldn't let that confuse you. The most important thing is to arrive at the truth, isn't that right? It doesn't matter how you get there. The end result is to save Simon. We have to do everything we can for his sake. Well said, Kay. Nice one, Kay. I really want to scout for you in the law firm now. Remember when Uncle Ray said a defense attorney never gives up? Miles, do you understand the true meaning behind those words? The true meaning of those words? Defense attorneys carry the fate of their clients on their shoulders. You're the only person your client can rely on. Just like with Mr. Keyes. We're the only ones who can save him now. We're linked by fate to our clients. That is why we must never give up. There's no way Uncle Ray can go against the teachings of Gregory. So what will you do? Currently, I am a defense attorney's assistant now, an assistant at my father's firm. I have made a commitment to this case. Therefore, if I don't save my clients, I cannot say I've achieved it. I will abide by this. To save Simon Keyes, no matter how many times my logic fails, I will always find another possibility. Okay, you're finally back. Well then, let's search for that other possibility. To start with, do you think that there was a way Mr. Knightley could have brought a chisel into the prison? It's logic time. The method Knightley used to bring the chisel into the prison was the chessboard. Take that! Normally, metal objects can't be brought into the detention center or the prison. They just be caught by the security gate. However, there is one way to avoid this, and that is if they're sent in a package to the detention center. Gate is only used on people. In other words, packages sent to the detention center undergo a simpler check. So they don't use a metal detector for that. This never should have happened. It seems the guards were too careless. Knowing this, Knightley asked Simon to send him a package. Namely, a chessboard containing the chisel. Well, this has solved one of our problems. The fact that the chisel was not Mr. Dogan's, but Mr. Knightley's. Given this, one major issue remains. The security camera shows a dog attacking the victim. As long as that exists, I will maintain that Dogan is the killer. But Dogan never even touched the murder weapon. I'm stumped. We also desire conclusion to this matter. Mr. Edgeworth, can you use one of my secret weapons, sir? Secret weapon number 4. The video we're now analyzing machine, Mr. Analysis. What's with that ridiculous name? I named it myself, sir. This will let us analyze the video footage in detail. Good. You'll see I'm not lying. I don't know what will come of this, but all we can do now is investigate. Mr. Edgeworth, do you know how to use Mr. Analysis? A video analysis machine. Should I hear how to use it? I actually don't know, so... Detective Gumshoe, could you show me how to use it? Of course, sir. Fundamentally, it's the same as investigating a crime scene. You just examine anything that piques your curiosity. To examine, I just press the X button. Now I'd like you to look at the buttons below the monitor. The left and right buttons will rewind and fast forward, respectively. And the center button allows you to pause the video. Let's make good use of it to advance our investigation, sir. To rewind and fast forward, I use the Y and A buttons. And to pause, I use the B button. While paused, you can go to the previous frame or the next frame. Use the same left and right buttons as before, sir. Next, I'll explain how to zoom in. Just point the cursor at the area you want to zoom in on, and press the button on the upper left on Mr. Analysis. The one that says Zoom Plus. It seems I can also use the L button to zoom in. And after you've zoomed in, you can examine it just like you would the original image. Use the previous frame in the next... Use the previous frame and the next frame buttons to examine frame by frame. But you can't actually play back the video in this mode, so keep that in mind. And what should I do if I want to zoom out? Just press the top left button on Mr. Analysis again, sir. Now, it should say Zoom Minus. And that concludes the explanation, sir. Well then, let's turn on Mr. Analysis. Use Mr. Analysis to examine any suspicious parts of the video, sir. This is the video from the detention center's camera. I believe this was the moment when Knightley was being attacked by the dog. If that wasn't the case, then what does it show? Is this person in the video really Knightley? And what is the true form of the black silhouette attacking this person? I should check the video and try to find the answers to these two questions. There could be unexpected things in unexpected places. Be sure to check every nook and cranny on the video, sir. What part of the video is strange? Alright. Okay. So we're actually going to end it off here. In the next episode of Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Path, the Imprisoned Turnabout, we're going to examine the video, and I already saw something that was off. We're going to examine the video and find out what is going on here. So, I will see you guys later.